Thanks very much, Ian. The cars will be on their way to the grid any moment now.
I'll get the brolly.
Oh, hello. The 91 Prague has had a spin on the way to the grid. Now, who's starting that car? It's Charlie Martin. Just cold tyres there on the Praga. Okay, we'll take you through the grid then as they come up to line up, because we've got to go through the starting drivers and the pit stop penalties as well for the top 3 finishers in each class from race 1. This grid fixed by the second fastest lap time for each car in qualifying, not the result of race 1 as we saw at Silverstone. Okay, let's have a look. In pole position, it will be car number 16, as we watch our race 1 winner there, John Dillon and Phil Quaife. 2 drivers in that car this time, but we'll take you through the grid. Number 16 will start on pole. That's the Ferrari of Bon Grimes and Johnny Molem. And Bon Grimes will take the start once again. They have a 15-second success penalty at their pit stop because they won Class 3 in race 1. Alongside them will be number 23, the Nissan of Richard Wheeler and Danny Harrison. Richard Wheeler will take the start. They have a 10-second success penalty because they were second in Class 1 in the first race. On the second row will be number 55, the Lamborghini of John Seal and Jamie Stanley. John Seal starts. They have a 15-second penalty at their pit stop because they won their class in race 1. And alongside them should have been Lucky Kira and Ross Wiley in the Ferrari. They are a non-starter, problems with them in qualifying. The third row will be the first of the Pragas. That's 111, started by Richard Wells. He'll relay Alex Capadia. Do they have a success penalty? No, they don't. They had problems towards the end of the first race. There's the white Praga. It is there. They picked up a bit of damage. Had to make an extra pit stop. Alongside them will be number 61, the Ferrari of John Dillon. And Phil Quaife is out this time. Phil Quaife will start that car. '61 will be started by Phil Quaife, and they of course have a 15-second success penalty as they were the winners of the first race. The fourth row, number 60, that's the Class 4 winner from race 1. Brilliant effort they've had this weekend. It'll be Martin Byford starting that car, sharing with Ash Woodman. They of course have a 15-second penalty for winning Class 4 in the first race. Alongside them will be the Praga of 333. Abby Eaton starts, relaying Gordy Mudge. They have no success penalty. On the fifth row, 68, the Team Brit Aston Martin, Bobby Trundley and Aaron Morgan. It'll be Aaron Morgan taking the start this time in the Aston Martin. They have a 10-second success penalty, second in Class 4 in the first race. Alongside them, number 29, the Praga of Chris Vesemile and Richard Morris. Richard Morris going first, and they have a 15-second penalty. They won the Praga Championship segment in the first race. The sixth row, number 77, will be started by Dave Scaramanga, the McLaren, shared with Will Powell. They have a 5-second penalty at their pit stop, third in Class 1 in the opener. Alongside them will be number 25, that's the Class 4 McLaren. Ed Peed takes the start this time, experienced saloon and GT race. That's the turquoise car there, lovely liveried car, that one. Do they have a success penalty? No, they don't. Row 7 will be number 85, the car that led the first half of the first race. That will be started by Angus Fender, sharing with Jay Morton. Alongside them will be number 31, Rod Goodman, with his Praga. No penalties for either of those cars. On row 8, number 9, Peter Ersteg with his Porsche, driving solo. He has a 5-second penalty, third in Class 4 in race 1. Then alongside him will be number 138, Sasha Kakard, starts the Audi RS3, shared with Hugo Cook. Row 9, 91, Charlie Martin taking the start in the Praga, shared with Jack Fabi. They have a 10-second success penalty. Starting alongside the Thompsons in their Jaguar, number 88, Callum Thompson takes the start in the Jaguar F-Type. The 10th row, number 44, that's Day and Foster. Alex Day takes the start in the Cupra TCR, sharing with Will Foster. And alongside them, number 99, Jonathan Beeson, driving solo in his Cupra, in his Golf rather. Was in a Cupra last time out. The 11th row will be the blue Ferrari. Chris Goddard takes the start in number 144. Will relay Charlie Hollings. They have a 10-second success penalty, second in Class 3 in race 1. As the pace car moves away, ready for the rolling start. Alongside the 144 will be number 26, the Evans and Clark BMW. Kevin Clark taking the start this time. The 12th row, number 22, will be Nick Hull taking the start in the Cupra. He'll relay Richard Avery. Alongside them, 78, Tim Docker with his Cupra. Then on row 13, we'll see number 6, which is the Wells and Stewart BMW. Mark Stewart takes the start this time. Nathan Wells will take over. 84 is alongside them. That's the Bridle twins. They have a 5-second success penalty, and it will be Ed Bridle taking the start in their Praga. The 14th row, we should see the Cunninghams out there this time. They missed race 1 with a bit of damage from qualifying in their Porsche. Mark Cunningham will take the start. Peter will take over. Hopefully that car's there. Alongside them, number 87, the car that most of our online viewers are watching for, Jimmy Broadbent and Jem Hepworth. It's Jem Hepworth taking the start this time. That car spun out of race 1. And then on the final row of the grid, number 69, which will be started by Dave Bennett, relaying Marcus Fothergill, their Porsche. They have a 5-second success penalty as well for third in Class 3 in race 1. And at the back, we should see the number 7 Praga of Walker and Lacey, Mr. JWW, James Walker and Miles Lacey. Miles scheduled to start. Hopefully that car has made it out this time. They missed race 1 after problems in qualifying. This will be a 1-hour race. Again, the pit window opens at the 20-minute mark, closes after 35 minutes. So you have a 15-minute window to make your pit stop. Right, the Cunninghams are there. Porsche. Just looking at the back of the grid here. Bridles are there. Broadbent's car is there. Ah, the number 7 Praga is there. Look at the livery on that machine. Isn't that beautiful? Blue and gold. That is Miles Lacey. He'll relay JWW himself, James Walker. He will make his Britcar debut here today. Just looking through to see if there's anybody missing from towards the back of the grid there. The Wells and Stewart BMW is not there. I think that's the only car we're missing. Number 6, the BMW M3 GTR isn't there. But it's Bon Grimes in pole position in the Ferrari. Alongside him is the Nissan GTR of Richard Wheeler. He'll relay reigning champion Danny Harrison. Then John Seal and Jamie Stanley. John Seal starts. Alongside, well, nobody alongside him because the other Ferrari are non-starter. But a fine field we have got out there, to say the least. I'm really looking forward to this on a drier track than earlier on. Phil Quaife starting the Ferrari that won the first race, number 61. It's a great variety of GT cars for 1 hour of racing. Here we go then with the final race of the day. 1 hour of racing for the Britcar Endurance Championship Endurance category. Start to form up as they come round the final corner. Pace car has pulled into pit lane. Here we go. We're underway. A great start by Bon Grimes in the Ferrari. He'll lead the way from pole position. Richard Wheeler goes with him. John Seal trying to look up the inside in the Lamborghini, and Phil Quaife is there on the outside in the 61 Ferrari, and he's round the outside up into third place. Good start by Phil Quaife. Then it's the first of the Pragas. In behind we've got a spinner. That's Aaron Morgan in the Team Brit Aston Martin off into the grass. Former BMW racer tries to rejoin. He does so. Looks like everybody else got round the first corner A-OK. Round the hairpin they go for the first time. There's Mark Cunningham. Watch for him in the Porsche. Didn't make it out in race 1, the yellow car. Miles Lacey at the back. He raced a Clio at the first meeting. The Praga not ready in time. Outside there, one of the Cupras, but it's Grimes in the lead. Quaife into second place. Then Wheeler, Seal, Richard Wells. And then looks like Abby Eaton behind in her Praga. They start to settle in then. 1 hour of racing. Hopefully no safety cars this time. We started race 1 under the safety car, of course. They see the colour coding of the classes. 4 classes in the top 5 at the moment. Phil Quaife in the 61 has taken the lead. I expected a charge from him in the early stages. Prefers racing in the dry, does Phil. Sat out the wets at race 1, and he's already clear of our pole sitter Bon Grimes as Chris Goddard charges through there past Peter Erscheg in the Porsche black and red machine there. As the battle for third place, leading Prague at Richard Wells, always a fast starter in that white 111 car. A rapid start as well by Chris Goddard in the 144. He goes past the BMW of Kevin Clark, sharing with Matty Evans, the car's owner. That's a crazy BMW 1M. Charge their way through towards Coram then. Over the line, Phil Quaife has gone already. Out in front with a 2 minutes, 0.379. That shows you how this circuit has dried out. His lead is just over 7 seconds at the end of the first lap. He's gone out of sight already. Bon Grimes up there in second place. Richard Wheeler is in third in the big Nissan. Then up to fourth is Richard Wells in the leading Praga. Fifth place we have Abby Eaton. She's just taken John Seal by the look of it. As down the inside, side by side there, Ferrari and Nissan. Superb stuff. Bon Grimes holds second place in his Ferrari. He'll relay Johnny Molem. They felt rather thwarted by the safety car in the first race. There's John Seal in the Lamborghini. Again, running up there with the more powerful GTs, Martin Byford in the Cupra. Here comes Richard Wheeler in the Fox Transport. Nissan down the inside. Has he overshot there, though? He took second place briefly. He has overshot. Had to ease off there to avoid going onto the grass. And Richard Wells in the leading Praga said, thank you very much. I'll take third overall. And Nissan recovering. Just ran in too deep into the turn there. Abby Eaton wants a snap at the back of the GTR as well. It's all the battle for second place because Phil Quaife is clearing off in front in the number 61 Ferrari. Could we see 2 wins today for that car, mirroring the fate of the Lamborghini at Silverstone? He's away and gone. Second place still Bon Grimes, but Richard Wells on the attack. He'll be looking to take the first overall win for a Praga this year. He's up the inside in a Brundle, takes the place away. Wheeler in fourth, Seal fifth in the Lamborghini, and behind him is Abby Eaton. Then the next of the Pragas, I think that's Richard Morris. He's got ahead of Martin Byford. Then the Ferrari of Chris Goddard, number 144. Now, the way that car's going, I'm not sure if that is Chris Goddard in that car or whether it is Charlie Hollings who's taken the start. I'll double check my starting sheet. It does say Chris Goddard, but I'm not so sure because it looks like the quicker driver is on board. No disrespect to Chris Goddard, of course. Charlie Hollings is the pro driver in that pairing. There's Peter Erscheg ahead of Sasha Caccard's Audi, Mark Cunningham's Porsche, and Alex Day in his Cupra TCR. Going to get back to the Golf, which is Jonathan Beeson. A few Pragas behind them. Pragas all the way down the order, spread through. They, of course, have their own championship. There's one of them, number 91, Charlie Martin. Erscheg on the inside. Bit of damage from qualifying on the Porsche. You can see it's missing a headlight there, Mark Cunningham's car. Down the outside, the Audi RS3 from Sasha Caccard. That's Rod Goodman's Praga under fire from Matty Evans in that BMW 1M. And they've got Dave Scaramanga. Raced a diverse variety of saloon cars at Castle Combe over the years, his local circuit, in number 77 in the Motor Swan McLaren. Fastest lap of the race, not surprisingly done so far by Phil Quaife out in front. And that fastest lap, 6 seconds quicker than anyone else on the second lap, first full flying lap of the race. He's over 14 seconds clear of second place Richard Wells, and it's Grimes, Wheeler. Here they are battling for second place. Behind them, John Seal. Abby Eaton, the Praga. Wheeler pulls into third place past the Ferrari of Bon Grimes. Behind them, Abby Eaton, then Richard Morris. There's that battle further back. And there's the number 84 Praga. Problems in qualifying, only did one full flying lap. That's Ed Bridle on board that machine. Here's Mark Cunningham. Chased by Sasha Caccard's Audi. 16-year-old Hugo Cook will take over that car. Had a class win at Silverstone last weekend, 2 weekends ago, sorry, with that Audi. Peter Erscheg under fire behind. Matty Evans under fire. Kevin Clark in Matty Evans' car under fire, I should say. Charlie Martin's Praga. They're fighting over 13th place. The lead is with Quaife ahead of Wells by nearly 20 seconds now. There is your leader. He's run away and hid at the front of the field, Phil Quaife. We'll see what happens though after the pit stops when John Dillon takes over the Ferrari. Wells leads the Praga category. Richard Wheeler is leading Class 1. Bon Grimes Class 3. So 4 class leaders in the first 4 places. Class 4 is being led by Martin Byford's Cupra. 333. Abby Eaton attacking the Ferrari there of Bon Grimes. Behind them the 144. I am wondering if that's his Charlie Hollings, that car. We'll go with what I was given, Chris Goddard. He has been racing Ferraris many years, including a number of classic Ferraris. He's got a 355. He's running Britcar trophies, raced Ferrari 308s among others as well. Richard Wells sitting pretty in second place in the white Praga. Always takes the start. He's always so quick in the early laps. There's our Class 4 leader. That is Martin Byford, the ex-BTCC man. There's the BMW number 6, that's Mark Stewart. 25, driven by Ed Peed, racer and instructor. There's that lovely BMW GTR. Popular in American GT racing over the years. Martin Byford, that Cupra so well up in the overall order. EDF Motorsports, Eddie Farrow and his team will be very proud indeed of Martin and Ash Woodman, fighting at one point for an overall podium in the first race. Through goes the Ferrari, past Bon Grimes. Ferrari on Ferrari, Chris Goddard and Bon Grimes. There's John Seal, a rather lonely fourth now ahead of Abby Eaton. Bon Grimes is dropping back. I wonder if he's got a slight problem. No sign of the pit window opening yet. That's another 11 minutes away. A much closer affair, much drier and much more entertaining from the Goodyear Britcar Endurance Championship Endurance category. The trophy category, of course, joins us for 2 50-minute races tomorrow. See the brake discs glowing in the front wheels of Phil Quaife's Ferrari. He is pushing as hard as he can because he wants to build as big a lead as possible before he hands over to John Dillon. Can they take a win together this time? John Dillon went solo in race 1 and won. Safety car period adding a bit of confusion during the pit stop period. Richard Wells still second, but the lap time starting to come down. Wells, Wheeler and Seal all lapping under 2 minutes at the moment. And Abby Eaton, then the Ferrari of 144. And Grimes has lost another place in his Ferrari because Richard Morris and the black number 29 Praga's got through. The Racing Pride founder and ambassador shares with Chippy Vesemale. Ten minutes gone, 50 to go in this 1 hour race. 10 minutes till the pit window opens. Quaife leads by over 25 seconds now. The gap seems to be stabilising. Quaife's pace early on was absolutely explosive in that Ferrari. For those who are probably asking in our YouTube comments, the number 87 car is 21st in the hands of Jem Hepler. Let's take a look at the class leaders. Class 2 Invitation is the overall leader, Phil Quaife. Class Praga, led by Richard Wells, ahead of Abby Eaton and Richard Morris. Class 1 is led by Richard Wheeler in the Nissan, ahead of John Seal. Third in Class 1 is number 77 of Dave Scaramanga. The Goddard Hollings Ferrari leads Class 3 ahead of Bon Grimes. And it's the number 26 BMW of Kevin Clark in third. Martin Byford leads Class 4 by a clear margin ahead of Ed Peed in the McLaren. And it's Sasha Kakard's Audi in third. There's the second place battle. Separated by a couple of seconds here. How purposeful these Pragas look. In the hands of Richard Wells, that car hand over to Alex Capadia. Richard Wheeler sitting behind. You can see the Fox Transport motif on the back of that car. He'll hand over to Danny Harrison, former Praga man. Puff of smoke there from Richard Wells. I hope that's not engine smoke. Behind them is Abby Eaton's Praga, second in class. Across the line they go. 8 minutes till pit window. Doesn't seem to be as much smoke there as it heads into Riches. But Nissan keeping in its sights there of Richard Wheeler. That car will fly when Danny Harrison gets aboard. He and Jem Hepworth, of course, the champions last year. It's the main battle at the front at the moment for second place. The little and large comparison once again, Praga and Nissan GTR. There's the Fox. They certainly are. It's not just an illusion, they are big beefy cars, the Nissan GTRs. Praga's the little Czech Republic built sports racers. Carbon fibre monocoque construction. Almost like a Group C car from the front, or a smaller LMP car. Maybe we'll see Pragas in the World Endurance Championship, and problems there for one of the Pragas. Oh, that's Abby Eaton in the 333. Now she was up to 4th, but problems for the 333, the Three Lions Praga. Looks like they're out of the race. The car shared with Gordy Much. That's a great shame. They got flagged in race 1 with a problem. Now I'm sure there's something amiss with Richard Wells' car. We saw flames from the exhaust there. And that's not something you see very often with the Pragas. There's another Praga, Rod Goodman, number 31, another ex-Radical racer. Chasing the number 60 of Martin Byford. Still leading its class. So the Goddard Hollings Ferrari is going to go up into 4th place overall, the demise of Abby Eaton. Up to 5th, it's John Seale's Lamborghini. 6th, Richard Morris's Praga. And 7th, Bon Grimes, who dropped back after taking pole for this race in his Ferrari. The leader's lap time seems to have stabilised compared with his pursuers now. Still slightly quicker, is a second and a half quicker on that last lap. Things are starting to settle down. Oh, and Wells has spun. Richard Wells has spun at the second place car, so the Pragas the leading Pragas all hitting trouble here. What is going on? Disaster among the Pragas. First Abby Eaton retires, and now Richard Wells has spun. That's exactly the same place as Jem Hepworth spun in the first place. Now, can he get it going again? I said this car was smoking a bit. Is that left rear wheel damage? That looks at a slight angle. Oh, we'll see, but that's put Richard Wheeler's Nissan up into 2nd place. The Goddard Hollings Ferrari is now 3rd overall. If Richard Wells can't get that going here, we may have a safety car. And the pit window is not yet open, and Richard Wheeler's going off! Oh my goodness, rallycross from the Nissan, he spins across the track. Oh dear, oh dear. What is going on out there? All of Phil Quave's pursuers seem to be self-destructing at the moment. What happened there? Chris Goddard and Charlie Hollings, the blue Ferrari, they can't believe their luck. Every time they got behind somebody, something happens to it. First, Abby Eaton. Then Richard Wells spins off, and now Richard Wheeler's spun as well. Wells still sitting there, so I'm wondering if we'll get a safety car here. And that could take us into the pit window. So Goddard and Hollings now 2nd, and yes, we do have a safety car. Now, will the teams be hoping that this lasts into the pit window and they can all dive in at the earliest opportunity? I don't think everyone will do that, because some drivers have got their quicker cars on board. Smoke from, I think that was just a lock-up there from Charlie Martin's Praga. not sure what happened to Richard Wheeler there. He's still in third place behind the Goddard Hollings car. Fourth for John Seal. Richard Morris up to fifth, then Grimes sixth, Goodman seventh, Charlie Martin is eighth. Here comes the safety car. Martin Byford and Ed Peed rounding out the top 10. They are 11 seconds separated for Class 4. Okay, so the safety car will try and pick up the race-leading Ferrari. Phil Quaife will be disappointed to see that because he was building up a fine lead ahead of his pit stop. Richard Wells still sitting there. It looks like there's some damage on the left rear. I wonder if there was some contact there with Richard Wheeler's Nissan, because they were near each other. And then the Nissan, of course, went off. Now we can try and see a replay, I think, of what happened between the Nissan and the Praga. Was there contact there? Coming down into Agostini, into the braking area. Now, does the Nissan touch the back of the Praga? Yes, it did. So there is damage on the Praga. The left, I thought that rear wheel was at a drunken angle there. You can see there, look at that left rear wheel. So there was contact with Richard Wheeler, and that'll explain why Wheeler went off at the bomb hole, because that'll have damaged his front splitter. No less downforce, and that's why he went wide and spun off. So both of them victims in that incident. There's the number 7 car. On board that at the moment is Miles Lacey. A beautiful looking car, that is. There's Bon Grimes. Now the pit window opens in about 90 seconds time. We've already had a couple of cars pull into the pits. Mark Stewart's BMW and Callum Thompson, the Jaguar F-Type, with problems. Now, will the safety car still be out? The Praga's still there, so this is going to take us into the pit window. And you know what that means? It's going to be everybody in. Now, the Jaguar's still going. They made a pit stop early on with some sort of an issue. Now they're starting to form up now behind the safety car. It'll pick up Phil Quaife's Ferrari. We've hardly seen the Ferrari. It just cleared off into the lead at the start of the race and was leading by nearly 34 seconds when the safety car came out. Well, the safety car leading them round, and the pit window opens now. 40 minutes to go. Pit window is open. Is it going to be everybody in? Bit of lap traffic in front of the leader. There is the leader. TCR Golf behind him. Now, is everybody going to come in? It's not only Richard Wells' car, the car of Abby Eaton is stranded at the inside of Williams Corner as well. Okay, who's coming in? Well, everybody. I was right, everybody in. Sasha Kakard leads them in. There's the leader in. And of course, he's got his extra penalty to serve, extra 15 seconds as the Race 1 winner in its class. Oh, goodness me, this is like a traffic jam on the A11 outside the circuit. Are there any cars not coming in? That is the most congested pit lane I have ever seen. Look at that. Everybody's in there. They're having to double park. Look at this. You've heard of double stacking in Formula 1 when two teammates come in together. This is double parking. Right. Has anybody not come in? Yeah, I think 2 cars are still out there. That's the Alex Day and Will Foster Cupra and Nick Hull and Richard Avery's Cupra. They're the only 2 cars that haven't come into the pits that time through.
Right, this is unbelievable, isn't it? It's like the M25, isn't it, in rush hour? Absolutely crazy. Let's see if we can't grab a word with a couple of people here. We've got a driver change going on here, 32 driver changes absolutely everywhere. We don't know where to look, it's crazy. The safety car has caused this to happen, and it's brilliant action, isn't it, right here in the middle. The
only other cars that stayed out were the 2 Cupras, Alex Day and Nick Hull. So there's only 3 cars on circuit. The Cupras are now coming in, but they're going to have to be very careful there. And the only car out on circuits that has stayed out in the lead is Charlie Hollings. So him and Chris Goddard will wait and see. They could gain a significant advantage here. Charlie, the quicker driver, wanting to stay out. That's a very unfortunate incident, a very rare sight, thankfully, in that pit lane. At least 3 cars I saw involved there. One of the Pragas, a BMW, and the Golf of Jonathan Beeson. Let's just hope everyone is okay. Wait to establish the race order. There are 34.5 minutes to go. Still this Praga stuck there with broken rear suspension from where it was hit by the Nissan. A distinctly unimpressed looking Richard Wells stood there. D&G assists the recovery team. Thanks to them for their assistance here at Snetterton. There's the erstwhile lead of the Ferrari. The Nissan's still going. Wondering if that may have gone off because of damage from the impact with the back of Richard Wells. There's a bit of damage, I think, on the rear of the Nissan. Was that caught up in the pit lane, I wonder? Well, the race order on the timing screen at the moment is Hollings still out there. It's the Ferrari now with John Dillon on board showing in 2nd place, and the Wheeler Harrison Nissan shows as 3rd. But that may all change, of course, when everybody's completed their outlaps. Lights still on atop the safety car. And you can see as it comes towards us there some damage on the right front corner of the Nissan there. There you can see it's been taped, so that's what caused it to go off, I'm sure. Right, the 2 Cupras have now been into the pits. The only car that has not stopped is Charlie Hollings. Obviously, he wants to run for as long as he can as the quicker driver of the pairing before they put Chris Goddard in the car. The Praga of Richard Wells is just being lifted onto the flat, but it's not very easy. There we can see it's not very easy to lift a Praga because it's of its carbon fibre monocoque. It's difficult to get the straps around. They've had to strap it by the wheels and lift it that way. With broken suspension, that further complicates it. It's a delicate job. Good to see Richard Wells helping the marshals there. As you say, we just hope that everybody is all right after the incident in the pit lane. Right, the Ferrari has now come in, the blue Ferrari, and given up the race lead, so Chris Goddard will be getting in, which makes, I think, the Dillon and Quaife car, that's now showing at the top of the times. Let's see where he is in this crocodile as they come round. There's the Ferrari, and there's the Nissan. They're showing in first and second. Johnny Molam now in the red Ferrari in third behind Danny Harrison. Then it's Jamie Stanley, and he's going to be the one to watch given his Silverstone form and the way he was catching John Dillon in that first race here today. There is John Dillon now aboard the Ferrari, but can he hold off this line of three GTs behind him? Danny Harrison, Johnny Molam and Jamie Stanley. There is Richard Wells' car. Abby Eaton's car has been recovered as well. Two Pragas out of the race. Well, some good news from down in the pits. We are told everybody is okay after that rather scary incident. Thankfully all bystanders are okay. The two cars that took the most damage there, Jonathan Beeson, Jack Fabi and Charlie Martin's Praga as well, and we're told that all personnel are okay. That's the main thing. That was quite a frightening incident. So 29 minutes, just under of this race to go. I can now raise my tone a little. That was quite a frightening moment there. But thankfully we're told everyone is all right. Wait to see where Chris Goddard slots back in at the end of his outlap with the blue Ferrari. It was Charlie Hollings who took the start. I had a feeling it was the way it carved through the field from the start because Charlie Hollings is a pro driver. Chris Goddard, the gentleman driver of the pair. Get quite a few pro-am pairings, none more so than John Seal and Jamie Stanley in their Lamborghini. Just keeping it steady behind the safety car, keeping their tyres warm. And there you can see the damage to the Golf. That's Jonathan Beeson's car. That's a great shame. They are very much out of the race. There is John Dillon. This time it's going to be more interesting. He's got Danny Harrison's Nissan right on his tail, but is that Nissan okay? After that incident earlier on which damaged the front end. Has he got the full aero? Well, the car behind our safety car at the moment is none other than Jimmy Broadbent. So he's at the front of the crocodile at the moment. He is a lap down on the rest of the field, though. He's in 16th place. There he is, the gold Praga. We've got Peter Airsheg behind him, Hugo Cook and Bobby Trundley's Aston Martin. There we can see the safety car getting the right place in the order. The safety car has picked up Jamie Stanley. Now these three have gone through past the safety car, which has now picked up Jamie Stanley, but he's showing us fourth on my timing screen, so I'm not sure what's happened there. Safety car still out. And this group making their way round, having been given the wave around by the safety car observer. And as they come over, as they come over the line, the Quaife Dillon Ferrari is showing as the leader ahead of Danny Harrison and Johnny Molep. So I'm not sure what's going on there. While Jamie Stanley, who's showing us in fourth place on the timing, is still behind the safety car. Okay, a bit of confusion, possibly on my part here, because 61, 23, 16 still showing as the top three, but they've been sent around the safety car, and it's picked up Jamie Stanley, who by my reckoning is in fourth place. So I'm not too sure whether there's been a miscalculation there, or whether there's something I have missed. Sorry for the confusion here. Safety car still out. Yep, these three showing as the leaders as they cross the line, completing 15 laps. Well, we'll see what happens when the safety car departs, I suppose. Great to see so many of you on YouTube, over 4,000 of you. But I don't, to be perfectly honest, I don't understand why these three... it looks like they may have realised what's happened, because everybody's being waved past the safety car here. They're going to pick up the leaders again. Are they? I'm not sure what's going on here. Safety car has now picked up the 138 Audi. that's being weighed through. I think he's trying to pick up the leader again. Yeah, I think the mistake has been realised. Yeah, the observer waving the cars through there. And have we got it sorted out now? Yes, I think we have. Okay, so I think the top three, I think will either wave through there or pass the safety car in error. And once that Cupra gets out of the way, I think we're going to have the correct order ready for a restart over about 20 minutes. Pit window is now closed, but everybody has stopped. Yes, I think we're in the correct place now, but that'll have caused a big split in the field, because these three have effectively, or have they, made up most of a lap? No, there's the Lamborghini behind them. There's Jamie Stanley, so they are going to make up the ground. I hope you're following this, viewers, because I'm struggling. Okay, I think we've got it sorted now. Sorry about that. Yeah, I think the three cars there went past the pace car in error. Past the safety car. It could be a good battle here for the lead in Class 4 further back. The turquoise McLaren with Andre Borodin now on board and Ashley Woodman in the Cupra could be ready to battle in Class 4. Let's have a look at the other class leaders. Class 1 is being led by the Nissan GTR. Class 2 by Phil Quaife and John Dillon. It's John Dillon now on board. John Seal and Jamie Stanley second in Class 1, and third will be the Will Powell McLaren. Still Johnny Molam leading Class 3 a bit further back. The Cunningham Porsche, Peter Cunningham now on board, is second. Third is the Evans-Clark BMW, Matty Evans now on board. Class 4 being led by Andre Borodin in the McLaren, ahead of Ash Woodman and Peter Erteg. In Class Praga, it's Chippy Vesemile looking for his second class win of the day. Rod Goodman second, and the Bridles in third. A few of the star Pragas having hit problems. Abby Eaton retiring, likewise Richard Wells after an impact, and the Jack Fabi Charlie Martin car was caught up in the incident in the pit lane. Well, hopefully we will be getting back underway shortly now. The order has been established. And there is Chris Goddard. Now, where's he slotted back in? After taking over from Charlie Hollings. Did staying out late work? Well, no, it didn't because of the safety car. They've dropped down to 15th place. Right, confusion cleared up. And we're nearly ready to go racing again. Don't forget Britcar, we do it all again tomorrow with the trophy category, 2 50-minute races for the more saloon and smaller sports car based machines. Okay, looks like we are now mostly formed up. I would take a look at the YouTube comments. They're moving too fast for me to read them. Okay, the light's still on at the moment. Hopefully we'll get back to racing shortly. Thank you for your patience while the marshals do their job and the officials get the correct order established. There's the battle in Class 4, the turquoise McLaren and the Cupra behind it. So the overall order, we'll establish it before we get going again. John Dillon leads in the Ferrari. Second, Danny Harrison in the Nissan. Third is Johnny Molam in his Ferrari. And fourth, Jamie Stanley in his Lamborghini. They're all grouped together at the front of the field. This is going to be an interesting race when we get going again. In fifth position is Andre Borodin's McLaren. And sixth, Ashley Woodman in the Cupra. They're fighting for the lead of Class 4. Seventh, Peter Cunningham in the yellow Porsche. The lights go out on the BMW, so we will be going racing this time by. In eighth place is the first of the Pragas. That's Chippy Vesemile in the black and red Praga. You can see that there. So they're by and large in the correct order because there hasn't been much lappery going on because everybody came into the pits at the same time. Rod Goodman is 9th in the number 31 Praga. There he is, the black and yellow car, and the Bridal's 10th, the blue Praga, ahead of the McLaren. Yeah, they're more or less in the correct order. So it's going to be a straightforward 16 or 15 minute sprint to the line. This is going to be a good race. Lights out on top of the BMW. Here we go. John Dillon's ready. Danny Harrison's ready to attack him. He's got to be mindful of that bit of damage to the Nissan. Johnny Molem, vastly experienced international GT racer. Jamie Stanley, incredibly quick driver. Watch for him coming through in the Lamborghini. I'm really looking forward to this. It'll be a 15-minute sprint for the line in the Goodyear Britcar Endurance Championship Race 2. Here we go then. Pace car into the pit lane. Green flag waves. They can't pass till the start-finish line. Here we go. Here's John Dillon's Ferrari. Going to be eaten up as they come down towards Riches for the first time. Here comes Danny Harrison up the inside. Takes the lead into the first corner. The power of the Nissan tells. The Ferrari down to second. And the Ferrari of Johnny Molem is there in third place. Down towards the Wilson hairpin. Looks like that damage has been fixed at the pit stop. Whoa, Johnny Molem aggressive at the inside. Jamie Stanley says, well, if you're going to push him wide, I'll take both of you. Lamborghini 1, Ferrari 0 for second place, and now Jamie Stanley free to go after the Nissan GTR of Danny Harrison for the lead of the race. This is GT racing at its best. The top four, as I expected, have broken away. 15 minutes on the clock, and here comes Jamie Stanley in the car started by John Seal, the JMH Automotive Lamborghini, looking to take its third win from 4 this season. He's all over the back of the Nissan. Look at this, here he goes. Dodges this way, that way. He won't get through at Hamilton. Danny Harrison starts to defend in the Nissan GTR, started by its owner Richard Wheeler. Through Oggie's corner up towards Williams Bend onto the Bentley straight. He surely is going to out-drag him down the straight. He goes to the outside. He's going to try and position himself for the inside for the left-hander at Brundle. Now he goes back the other way. He's sold him the dummy. Down the straight we go. Here comes the Lamborghini. Look at it, menacing there. Almost like a shark's mouth in the mirror of the big Nissan. Down towards Brundle. Is he going to get him? No. Danny Harrison holding off. This is good driving by the reigning Britcar Endurance Champion. Now the Lambo tries again. Nearly clips the back of the Nissan. And Johnny Molem's lurking there in the Ferrari. Look at the way Danny Harrison is defending. He's making that... Well, that's a wide car anyway, but Danny Harrison's making it even wider. Up towards Coram. This is great stuff. Just needs to be careful with that damaged bumper. He doesn't lose any downforce. They lock up as they come through Murray's. Johnny Molem in third. Down to fourth has gone John Dillon in the Ferrari. And the first of the Pragas is in fifth place. That's the car of Richard Morris. So the 2 Class 4 cars have dropped away. Here they come over the brow. Down the centre straights. Danny Harrison forcing Jamie Stanley to go to the outside. This is brilliant racing between these two. They're going at it like a couple of minis out there. You wouldn't believe these were £1 million GT cars. Which side's he going to go this time? Into Wilson's hairpin. He's never going to get around the outside there, but he might get him onto the inside for Palmer's. No, again the Nissan holds him off. Up the inside onto the curb goes Jamie Stanley. He won't get. Is he going to get through at Palmer's? You don't very often see overtakes here. No, again the Nissan is stronger on the brakes. And Johnny Molem keeping his eye on things from third place. Fourth is John Dillon. Again, Danny Harrison moves to cover. He doesn't want to run wide on the exit here. And round the outside goes Jamie Stanley. He's going to try and get the overlap on the outside at Agostini. This is a move you don't see very often. And he's done it. Oh, brilliant by Jamie Stanley. He's finally got him round the outside at one of the tighter corners on the circuit. That is great driving by Jamie Stanley. But fair play, Danny Harrison. What a great defensive effort that was. Absolute tooth and nail racing between these two supercars. And now watch for Jamie Stanley pulling away. He's already pulling away. He's got his boot down and starts to leave the Nissan. I was going to say in his dust, but it's not very dusty today, is it? Johnny Molem looks on in the Ferrari. Remember, that's a Class 3 car, leading his class in third. Dillon still leads Class 2 Invitation in fourth place, and the leading Praga is up there in fifth. That's Richard Morris. Up to sixth has come the McLaren, Will Powell in the Motus 1 car. There he is. He's through to sixth. He gained 5 places on that last lap alone. Rod Goodman's Praga going well in seventh, as is Chris Bridle. There he is in the 84. Behind them is the number 7. That's JWW himself, James Walker. He's up into the top 10 now. He's flying along. Remember, that car starts at the back of the grid. What a brilliant race this is. How's the Class 4 battle doing? I think it's still Borodin in the McLaren leading that, or is it? No, he's dropped away, Andre Borodin. He's dropped down the order. There's the McLaren, so something happened to that on the restart, I think. Ash Woodman's back in the lead of Class 4 in the Cupra. There's Chris Goddard in the car started by Charlie Hollings. Oh, that's the Jaguar. More problems, more teething troubles for the F-Type. Great shame for Callum and Adam Thompson. Their gremlins have struck again and they are out of the race. Shame. Beautiful looking British built car. Into the paddock they go. And here's a battle between Chris Goddard, 44 of Will Foster in the Cupra. Chasing now Matty Evans in his BMW. They've got a Praga behind them. That's Jimmy Broadbent. Now where's he in the classification? He's 15th. Looking for his best finish so far. Peter Cunningham in the middle of this as well in the Porsche. He's 12th. The Evans car's flying up the order. He's just got ahead of the Porsche. It's fantastic stuff. There is the Nissan dropping back now into second place. Danny Harrison. The Fox Transport GCR GT3 fought so valiantly to hold the lead ahead of the flying Jamie Stanley, but the Lamborghini now looking good for win number 3 this year. If they take the class win here, it will be Bon Grimes and Johnny Molem. They won Class 3 in both races at Silverstone. They'll be unbeaten in their class. The red Ferrari there, they'll be leading the championship. John Dillon's under fire. That is the car of not Richard Morris, Chippy Vesemile, sorry, is now in that car. Richard Morris started the Praga. And there's Will Powell in the McLaren up into 6th place, started by Dave Scaramanga. What a tremendous race this is. Britcar always at their best here at Snetterton. They were superb at Silverstone, sensational at Snetterton as well. Further back there's Rod Goodman, Chris Bridle, another Praga, that's James Walker in the gold-topped machine. Then there's a gap back to the Cupra, I think will be next through. No, it's Jay Morton's Praga, there he goes. Car started by Angus Fender, a quieter race for them this time. Jimmy Broadbent's next through, he's up to 11th, he's gained 4 places on that last lap. Jimmy Broadbent has learnt so quickly, his first season of real life racing. He's one of Britain's top sim racers, of course, but proving that sim racing can train you for the real thing, and he's proving it here. He's almost on the fringes of the top 10. There's Matty Evans in his bonkers BMW. That's in 13th place behind Ash Woodman, the Class 4 leader, who's dropped back to 12th now. There he is, against the more powerful cars. See, in the dry, the power tells. There's the blue Ferrari. He's got one of the Porsches up behind him there, Chris Goddard. That was the car of Marcus Fothergill. There's the Cupra. They're still leading Class 4. Here comes Matty Evans, the West Midlander in his BMW. Just over 8 minutes of the race to go. Well, Jamie Stanley, as expected, just smashed the fastest lap of the race, 1:48.016 in the Lamborghini. He's leading by 9.5 seconds. There's John Dillon's Ferrari. He'll take a class win if he keeps going. At least he's lost out to one of the Pragas there. That'll be the number 29 car, Chippy Vesemile. He'll have gone through. Yes, he's in 4th place now, leading the Praga class. Well, a superb race this has been. Coming into the closing stage now, just a few laps to go. Safety car proving a great leveller because everybody pitted at the same time. We did have the unfortunate collision in the pit lane, but again, thankfully, it appears that everyone is okay. There is the car that could be about to take the championship lead. Bon Grimes and Johnny Molem. There were 2 double class winners at Silverstone. The other was our race leader here, but they were beaten in race 1, of course, by the Nissan GTR. So it will be the Ferrari with the only one with 4 class wins so far this year, and the Class 3 leaders will take the overall lead of the championship. No stopping Jamie Stanley. He's done a 1:48.016 last time through. He is so quick in this Lamborghini. Look at nobody within sight of him now. 6.5 minutes to go as Jamie Stanley in the JMH Automotive Lamborghini storms across the line. Lap time, that time through a 1:47.273. It took a moment to come through there. He's leading by 14.5 seconds. And his last lap time, 5 seconds quicker than that of Danny Harrison. Here's the battle in the Pragas. That's for second in the Pragas because your clear leader is Chris Vesemile in 4th overall, behind Johnny Molep. Look at the speed of that Lamborghini. This whole field has really been an absolute joy to watch here at Snetterton. There are your class leaders. Seal and Stanley ahead of Wheeler and Harrison, with Scaramanga and Powell 6th overall, 3rd in the class. Grimes and Molam lead class 3, and Evans and Clark. Matty Evans has got past Chris Goddard now, up into 2nd in class 3. Praga class led by Chippy Vesemile ahead of Rod Goodman and Chris Bridle. John Dillon, the only runner in class 2 invitation. Class 2, no starters. And class 4, it's the Woodman Byford Cupra ahead of the Team Brit Aston Martin and Peter Airseg's Porsche. 5 minutes to go. There's Jamie Stanley looking almost relaxed. Wheel of the Lamborghini. What a battle he had on that restart though with Danny Harrison in the Nissan. Coming up to lap 1 of the Cupras there. It's Tim Docker. Excuse me, he says. He's met him at the worst possible place here. He'll overtake him on the straight, I'm sure. No, Docker's let him through at Murray's. Normally races the Golf, that got damaged at Silverstone. Over the line he goes. What's the lap time going to be this time through? No, it's a 1:50 this time through because he got held up by that back marker. His fastest lap of the race is about 4 seconds quicker than anything anyone else has managed, Jamie Stanley. Phenomenal pace. Wheeler in 2nd place is now 15.5 seconds down. Danny Harrison, sorry, in Richard Wheeler's car. There goes the Praga. That's Chris Vesemile's up into 3rd place. That was a slow lap by Johnny Molem's Ferrari. What's happened there? He's lost 3rd overall. Where's the Ferrari? Yeah, I caught a glimpse of it in the background there. So Johnny Molem is still running, but that was a slower last lap from the Ferrari 488. Yeah, there he is. He's still going, still leading the class. Because, as we say, if he wins the class here, he will be leading the championship outright. But he's lost out to Chippy Vesemile in the Praga. There is Johnny Molem. The car looks okay. Wondered if he'd slow with a bit of a problem there, but it seems all right. Loop comes Johnny Molem. Less than 3 minutes to go now. It's going to be a win for the JMH Automotive Lamborghini. It's been a change for 5th as well because Will Powell has got the McLaren through into 5th position ahead of John Dillon. There is the Praga Championship leader. I think they will be leading the championship after this race. Chippy Vesemile and Richard Morris, the ex-750 Motor Club Sports 1000 racers. The Racing Pride ambassadors, and they'll be very proud of their performance today. There is the leader. He's lapped the Cunningham Porsche in 16th place. Jamie Stanley, just relentless his pace here. He's eased off a little bit now. Last lap was a 1:51. He is dealing with back markers. A couple of laps to go. Well, the day started off in a deluge, but has dried out quite nicely now. Jamie Stanley has to do is keep a cool head, deal with the back-marking Cupras there, including the Class 4 leader, soon-to-be winner, Ashley Woodman. He's down to 15th now, but... well, has he lost the lead of that class? Yes, he has. I missed that. Look, the Team Brit Aston Martin has taken Ashley Woodman. So Bobby Trundley and Aaron Morgan are going to win Class 4. I'd missed that. I apologise. There's our second place man, Danny Harrison, a slightly battered Nissan. One minute 20 to go, so we'll get one more lap out of this. There's the Cunningham Porsche missing its headlights, using the lower lamps there. The light is beginning to fade here on this damp day at Snetterton. Let's hope for more clement weather tomorrow. We're back to do it all again, of course. Last lap for Jamie Stanley. Last lap of the day. Through the hairpin for the last time goes the JMH Automotive Lamborghini. Beaten into third place earlier on. Into second place, I should say. So Jamie Stanley did try, ran out of laps to catch John Dillon's Ferrari. Got the lights on Marcus Fothergill's Porsche there, blinding. The 111 Praga has rejoined after its incident earlier on, so Alex Capadio at least getting some laps in. Well behind, however. Clock has round down to 0. Third overall win of the season upcoming. It's just down the Bentley straight for the 55 car now. The left at Brundle through the last 3 or 4 corners. Brundle, Nelson, into the bomb hole. It's only the right at Coram, the left at Murray's. The JMH Automotive Lamborghini Huracan GT3 started by John Seal. Taken over by the flying Jamie Stanley. Down towards the final corner of the day. First defeat of the year in race 1, but it's going to be a third overall victory from 4. They're coming up towards the checkered flag. John Seal and Jamie Stanley, there is the checkered flag. They take their hat-trick, 3 wins out of 4 in 2021 in the Britcar Endurance Championship Endurance category. Superb from JMH Automotive. Second place is going to be Fox Transports, the Wheeler Harrison Nissan GTR. They will come over in second place. 21 seconds back. There he is. Well done, Danny Harrison. A terrific battle early on with Jamie Stanley after the safety car. And in third place, it is going to be the Praga Championship winning car, which is that of Chippy Vesemile. The car started by Richard Morris. They will take the victory in the Praga division. There he is. Chippy Vesemile comes home. Fourth and Class 3 winner is Johnny Molem, started by Bon Grimes. They will take the overall lead of the championship. 4 class wins out of 4, and just behind them, 5th overall and 3rd in Class 1, Will Powell and Dave Scaramanga in the Motor Swan Moorgate McLaren. 6th place goes to Race 1 winner John Dillon, this time sharing with Phil Cruyff. Then the Bridal, 7th in there, Praga, 2nd in class. Rod Goodman, 8th overall, 3rd in class. And the Praga of James Walker and Miles Lacey, very well done to them. 9th overall from the back of the grid after failing to start race 1. And Jem Hepworth and Jimmy Broadbent, 10th overall, 5th in class. Class 4, meanwhile, won by Team Brit in their Aston Martin, a lap down, overhauling Ash Woodman. Okay, I think we'd better head down to Parc Ferme and hear from some of our winners, talking to Ian Waterhouse.
Right, everybody, welcome down to Parc Ferme. Wow, big drama in that race, wasn't there? Not just on track, but in the pit lane as well. Let's go grab a quick word. Here we go. We've got, I'm going to go round the other way. John Searle and Jamie Stanley winning there. Let's grab a quick word with the young man, shall we? We did have a quick word earlier, didn't we? Hey guys, congratulations, guys. Congratulations. How you doing? Let's go round here. Sorry. It's like Spaghetti Junction up there, isn't it? And it was like Spaghetti Junction during that pit stop as well, wasn't it? It was crazy in there, but you managed to get this gorgeous Lamborghini home. What was it like?
Yeah, it's right. Obviously got a bit of a mistake with the safety car. I think everyone else got a wave by and they had to fix that. So yeah, luckily we managed to get our lap back then, so that was alright. Otherwise I was thinking it was going to have to chase a whole lap down. But that was good, you know, obviously the track was still a bit sketchy in places and picking away through the traffic was good, but that was alright, it was good.
The pace was there though, wasn't it? Because actually in the second half of the race you really started to pull away quite a bit after the safety car came in.
Yeah, I mean that's the first time all weekend I've actually had some clear laps to give it a bit of beans, even in practice yesterday, so it was just good to give it a bit of a thrash around.
And look, you say just give it a bit of a thrash around. What is it like to thrash that round? Come on, we all want to know, we all want to drive it really. What is it like? No speed limit, off you go, come on.
It's a little bit sketchy when it's sideways, it's like drifting in a 4-bed semi, so you know, you have to be really careful with it.
You were spewing when they let me go.
Absolutely.
Look, congratulations,
Thank
you
you.
must be absolutely thrilled. Cracking weekend for you. Great way to finish. Let's grab a quick word with this man over here, Mr. Harrison. We did grab a word with you. This man put it on pole earlier, cracking race then as well. You come home second. You must be pretty happy with that, right?
Yeah, we're pretty happy with that. It was a tough race, that one for us. Richard enjoyed a little bit of contact in the first bit, which kind of puts it a bit of a disadvantage. The steering wheel's not exactly in a straight line at the moment, so it made my life a little bit harder, I must say.
And pit stops got a bit mental, didn't they?
Pit stops, I've never seen anything like it. I've never actually pulled away from a pit stop and had to stop
Richard as
3
well.
times.
Richard's coming too. Richard, we were just talking about the pit stops there. They were insane,
That was drama,
weren't they?
wasn't it?
Oh my
I think it was
word.
a combination, wasn't it, of the fact that literally as the pit window opened, the safety car came out, so everyone thought best thing to do, pit under the safety car.
But you're going to, aren't you? You're going to use that as an advantage,
and actually
aren't you?
it's a small pit lane with small garages. The garages are narrow. There's not even. I mean, our car's huge. I think our car's actually longer than our garage.
I think your car's longer than my house.
Yeah. So I mean, when you think you've got to get a car in front of each garage, something's got to give. And I saw someone tap one of the TCR cars. One of the TCR cars ended up sideways.
Yeah.
And then it just, complete pandemonium.
It kind of erupted. I'm just looking at this wing. Do you take it off at night and sleep with it? Or?
No, I sleep on it. That's what I do.
You could, couldn't you? Guys, congratulations.
Thank you very
Fantastic.
much.
Great to see you on the podium. Let's go over to the Praga cars as well. Another exciting race and plenty of action. Car number 29 coming home as winners. And look, head in his hands. I think he's a happy man indeed, isn't he? I'm going to try and get his attention and tell the boys not to run away from me. Don't run away, boys. Come back. Come back. Well, what can I say? Congratulations. Great. Absolutely great race. Very chaotic though, wasn't it?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, at the start it was still quite damp, quite greasy.
Yeah.
So I just had to put the car in the right bits of the track. Just, you know, not try to be too much of a hero the first few laps. I knew people would start to make mistakes. And I was able to hand the car to Chippy in P1. And when you give it to him in P1, it's a safe pace.
It comes home in P1, right?
Yeah, no, great race, amazing stick by Richard. You know, when you get the car first overall, that's, you know, an overall, sorry, in class is what we want. Again, amazing job by the team. You know, first weekend, two races, 2 wins. I cannot thank Richard and everyone enough. Really, it's been great.
Fantastic. It really sets you up in the championship, doesn't it, as well? What are you going to take into the next round? Is it just more? It's got to be more of the same, hasn't it? Really? I mean, what more can you do if you're in first?
Hopefully, a bit more vinyl. You know, I'd like a bit more vinyl.
Yeah.
We had a few little problems this morning. That was me, unfortunately, not Richard. So get the sponsors back on the car.
A bit of fluorescent, bit more fluorescent orange or something, yeah?
Yeah, it looks very new this front, doesn't it? But yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, we'll keep working hard. We'll keep learning everything we can every weekend. This is still for both of us only our second meeting with the Praga, and we're only going to get stronger.
Definitely, and it looks an absolute joy to drive, by the way, as well. If you ever need somebody to test it for you one day, probably not the right person to do it. Right, so I wanted to find out. Oh, we've got the 2 chaps, got the 2 twins again. Let's grab a quick word with the twins. We've got Chris and Eric Burdle over here. Let's have they changed racing outfits again? Who am I actually talking to? Do we know? It is Ed. Congratulations again. You said you were going to start right at the back. Of course you did, but you took advantage again. Another safety car period, chaos, drama, but you put it on 3rd again.
Yeah, P2 this time, so even better.
Oh, it's a P2, sorry. Oh, sorry. Apologies. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, mega race. Same again. We just stayed out of trouble at the start. I was in the car first, and I struggled, to be fair. There was a dry line, but off track was wet. So when you start behind the GT4s and TCR cars, it's quite tricky. So if you have a lock up in one of these, or something, you're going to go off. So just try to keep it out of trouble. And obviously the safety car came out and handed it over to Chris. He did all the hard work, really, to be honest. I just cruised around at the start, but Yeah, all good. Just happy everyone in the pit lane's all right as well.
It's proof, isn't it, to go third in race 1, of course, second in race 2. Just stay in it, because you never know what's going to happen in motorsport.
Yeah, I think we started, like, 30th in both races, so to make that amount of places and there's not a scratch on the car, like we've not had any contact with anyone, and it is, in a 1 hour race it's crucial. You think if you're doing a 24-hour race, you've got to do that for a long time. So we're happy, we're really good. Chris?
He's giving you all the credit, to be fair, Chris. He said he didn't do anything at the start, he just pootled around for a little bit and then he handed it over to you and you did all the work. So well done, congratulations.
You did a mega job. It's so difficult at the start of the races, especially starting at the back of a car like this. The closing speeds are huge.
Yeah.
So, brand new slicks out the box, straight out of the ovens, it was still pretty damp out there at the start. So he did a great job, got us into about P4 in class, about 10th overall. And then, managed to got in the car, good stop by the boys, Tim Gray Motorsport. Yeah. Absolutely mega job. We've been struggling with power, that Silverstone for this weekend of it, and they've done the best they can. And I managed to sort of put it all together at the end. And it was tough, really tough. But so happy with that. I usually hate Snet to get 2 podiums from the back
I was going to say, what is it like in that hurtling towards that first corner, knowing the track's a little bit damp as well? What's it like? It must be hair raising.
You've got to trust the downforce. It's 150 mile an hour into there.
But it's so low, isn't it?
Down 1 gear and just roll it in. So it is tough. You get used to it after a while. But it's definitely a quick car. Great car by Praga. It's really taken off in the UK. And such a fantastic car. And really privileged to drive it actually. So good result.
Well, guys, congratulations, third and a second, fantastic stuff. And listen to that 150 mile drop a gear makes it sound easy. It's certainly not, is it? That's it from me today. I'm going to hand back to Dave Goddard for a final word.
Thank you very much to Ian Waterhouse. He's going to put his feet up for the night and he'll join us in the paddock tomorrow. Well, that's given me a chance to get my breath back after some brilliant racing despite the weather here today at Snetterton with the BARC here on BARC TV. We'll take a look at the schedule for tomorrow's action. We kick off starting racing at 9 a.m. with the first race of the Supercarts. Gary James will be taking us through that. That's followed by qualifying for 20 minutes for the Britcar Endurance Championship Trophy category. Yep, more Britcar action tomorrow. First Caterham race of the day is the Sigma 150s at 9:55. That's followed by the first of three mini races, Mini 7s, as at 10:30. That's followed by the second Supercart race, covered by Gary. More Caterhams, the Sigmax and Sigma 135 categories are as at 11:30. That's followed by the first race of the weekend for the Junior Saloon Car Championship. The qualifying course was cancelled for them today. They'll line up in championship order. After lunch, we will have the Britcar Endurance Championship Trophy category for their first 50-minute race. The Mini Miglias, who we saw earlier today, are back out for their 20-minute thrash. Then the Caterhams again, Mini 7s, the third Supercart race, the Caterham Sigmax and Sigma 135, a second race for the Junior Saloon Cars, and we close out the weekend with our 18th and final race, the Britcar Endurance Championship Trophy category. That's all coming up tomorrow, 14 races plus a qualifying session kicking off at 9 a.m. Well, that's about all for today here at Snetterton. Thank you very much indeed to everybody for watching. A big thank you must go to all our volunteer marshals braving the weather today. We could not go racing without them. A thank you to all at the BARC as well, and all at Snetterton Circuit. Thank you to the medics, the recovery crews, and everyone else here today as well. The teams and the drivers as well for their entertainment, all their backup crews as well. Thankfully everybody okay after that incident in the pit lane. And thank you most of all to you, the viewers. I had thousands of you watching today again, and also on a personal note, thank you for all the birthday greetings as well. Thanks very much indeed, everyone. You've been great today. That's about all from me. Until tomorrow, we kick off again just before 9 a.m. tomorrow. Be bright and early for more on BARC TV tomorrow from here at Snetterton. Bye for now.